Like
Yeah.
people really forget that you don't have to be so big to do something. Because I think the tendency is that wag mo na gawin. Kasi yan lang. Like we always have that mindset that that's it. That's all you did. Like even in like when you write your resume, you know how a lot of people get so pressured that it has to be full. It has to have this company, this experience, and that
Mm.
exactly. And that's what will get you, that will push you forward in the future. But it's really not. It's adding up those small things that you've done that actually make everything bigger in the
Mhm.
grander scheme of things, I guess.
For today's small business spotlight, we have Famgyup Salamat. Are you missing Famgyup nights with your friends? Then you're in for a treat. Famgyup Salamat is an at-home K-barbecue delivery service that brings the taste of Korea straight to your doorstep. They provide high quality meat and your favorite side dishes for the most affordable of prices. And they can even lend you their electric grill if you don't have one at home. For the Meaning of Life podcast listeners, you get a 100 peso discount by entering the promo discount code all caps meaning of life exclamation point. I repeat, all caps meaning of life exclamation point. Just remember to include it in the remarks section of the order forms that they have. Now let's get back to the episode. Hi everyone and welcome to the Meaning of Life podcast. With me here today is the wonderful Jian Tan. So Jian, can you tell us something about yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
Okay, so hi, I'm Jian. I'm currently taking up development studies. It's my last year, supposedly, but then I'll get into that later. I'm very passionate about education. That's one of my main advocacies. And instead of going into like what I do in school, I guess I'll give some stuff about myself, like my
Yeah,
hobbies and stuff. So I really like fish, something that people don't know about me.
you
And as
love
you can
fish.
hear, that's my dog. That's Hunter. So I really like, yeah, like I really like fish. And I used to go to Cartimar, like, because it's near Taft, right? So I used to
Mhm.
go there, get coffee, look around the different stalls, and just, it's quiet kasi. So yeah, I really like that, like taking time to just pause, then go around, look at fish, and I also like coffee. So yeah, it's just one place with all the things I like. And I guess some of my involvements are also a lot about volunteering. So I do a lot of volunteer work,
Mhm.
whether in DLSU or I've tried some outside, thanks to my friends at Unicef also. So yeah, that's stuff about me, I guess.
Wait, can you tell me more about that fish thing? You like fish? Or you like eating fish? You like having fish as pets? So every both.
I didn't give context. Fish as
Yeah.
pets. So my brother is really into aquascaping. It's like this trend. I don't know if you've like watched YouTube videos about it, but then I really enjoyed because of him. Like it all started with this free fish from a fair. And then he just got it from senior high school, like La Salle Senior High School.
Yeah.
They went to the Laguna campus. Then he won a fish and he brought it home. And every day I would just talk I'd talk to the fish, especially after school, because I used to have fit teams, like fit sport PE class.
Mhm.
And I'd go home first, like go to the condo, then talk to the fish first. Like, oh my gosh, am I really gonna go to fit sport today? Am I really gonna work out today? And after that, I just feel calm because it's like I'm not alone and I have my
Yeah.
fish with me.
Yeah.
So his name is Dax, and my brother named it after his friend. So Dax the goldfish is like a free goldfish, but then we started treating him like royalty. He has his own aquascape tank, and then we started getting all these other fish. So I have fighting fish, and I have guppies now. So if you want some, I could give you.
Wow. So Dax is like the kingfish because he was the first.
Yes, Dax is the kingfish. He's the easiest to like maintain, I guess.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. How do you maintain fish? Actually,
Okay, that's
do
a
you
really good
clean? Do you
question.
personally clean like their poop?
The tank. Okay, that's a good question because that's my weakness. I'm not really good with like understanding the temperature of the water
Mhm.
and making sure there's no chlorine and all that. But that's why my brother and I were like a good team, I guess, because I'm the one who judges for it. Like, oh, that doesn't look nice there, and then he's the one who handles like the making it look nice. But then ever since, because I used to live in a condo in Taft, and now since the quarantine happened, I had to go home. he gave me this giant tub, and he told me, okay, just put the grass inside. There's like grass,
Mhm.
guppy grass. And he gave me fishes, like small ones. They're called guppies. And then he told me just watch over them. That's males and females, and they'll just mate and they'll have babies and stuff like that. So suddenly, like now, I have a lot with me. I think I have like 30 guppies, like
Wow.
fingerlings, like tiny babies. So I'm not sure what to do with them yet. Probably, probably gonna sell them or give them to friends. Cause
Are, are they Dax's babies?
no, they're not. Like
No.
the
Okay.
thing about ducks, like this is fish. You have to choose which ones can go together. Cause like
Mhm.
my fighting fish, they literally fight everything. As in they eat all these other fish.
Oh
They
no.
have to be alone. Like they're alone all the time.
So you arranged their marriage, parang ganun.
Yeah, kinda. And if you give them like their siblings, well, okay, it's animals, you know. So
Yeah.
if you give them from their own lineage, they get weaker. So they're not as
Mhm.
healthy as they should be. So it's a lot of things. Like even the color of their tails will change, stuff like that.
Oh,
Just because of yeah.
okay. Wow. So
This fish conversation, I can.
I learned so much from you for fish. Whenever I do get fish in the future, if ever,
I
I'll
will
know who
give
to.
you a fish. Think
I'll,
of it, they can be condo pets. They can be house pets. You
Mm,
can like keep them in a tiny container.
and if I
Fish
need someone to talk to, I can talk to the fish. It'll
officially.
call me, I'm
Yes,
sure.
I got you.
Yeah, yeah. So you talked also about your your volunteer work. You're very interested, very involved in volunteering. Can you tell me something more about that? Like how and what?
So it all started in high school, probably. I was really young, and we would have outreaches in school. So they would bring children in during our school fair, and we'd have to bring them around the different booths. And that time I was young. I was probably the age of those I was bringing around. So to me, it was just like leading people my age. I didn't really
Yeah.
see the problem. I didn't see where they were coming from. So in high school, grade school actually, like around grade 6, grade 5,
Mm-hmm.
I would just bring them around the school fair. Then to me, it was just nothing. Like kids, we were all kids. But then as I grew up, I started noticing that we weren't on the same playing field. That every time we would bring them around, they would be happier about certain things that we don't appreciate as much. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, during one fair, we had to give them like I don't know what it's called, plangana, not plangana, buckets. Like
Yeah.
we'd give them buckets with food, and then our principal was telling us how one child didn't want to like eat the apple that they gave right away, and she
Mm-hmm.
was just like, "Why? Why are you keeping it? Like you can just eat it now. Everyone has time to eat." And the kid said, "No, I'm bringing it home because I have to share this apple with my family." And to me, like that time, I mean, we were already old enough to understand that, okay, not everyone comes from the same background. Not everyone can enjoy what we do.
Yeah.
And because of that, I realized that I have so much. Even the fact that, okay, they always tell us this, like you go to a good school. That's always the thing that
Mm-hmm.
our teachers say, our parents say, when you tell a stranger, oh, for example, DLSU, what a good school. It's like one of the top universities in our
Yeah.
country. But then when you talk to people outside, it's like they don't even have a house. They don't even have parents. And in one of my volunteer experiences, there were children who had no name. It really goes from
No
it
name.
really right like no
Yeah.
name. She was 4 and she didn't know her own name because she got left behind by her parents. And it was really something eye opening for me that for
Mm-hmm.
us, I mean, that's nothing to be thankful for. That you have a name, like that's the bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
But then this kid doesn't even have a name and she's still smiling. And you're just like, man, if that was me, I wouldn't be happy. But I guess I guess there's a lot to be thankful for.
So what did you call her?
Okay. Now that's where we get into like my volunteer experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that I did last November 2019, right before this whole
Yeah.
coronavirus problem happened, in the
Super.
Philippines, we actually eradicated the polio virus before. Like
Yeah.
no, there were no cases of polio for a while. And what happened was it came back. I'm not sure if it was October or November, but like because that happened, UNICEF in partnership with some leaders from specific barangay. So he's actually a friend now. His name is Kuya Borge. We call him Kuya Borge. So they had this movement. They created this movement called Vaccine Save Lives,
Mhm.
and it was just because they wanted to eradicate polio again. So instead of people going to health centers, they went to communities. And with UNICEF, like imagine that, just volunteers who had no idea about medicine, like zero,
Yeah.
nothing at all. They just wanted to help. And then they found a way. They started researching about it. What can you do to help? And they got in touch with DOH. They worked with the Department of Health. They worked with UNICEF. And they started this whole movement where volunteers would be the one to bring the vaccine to communities. So imagine just, the little ice boxes that you can carry, like hand carry ice boxes. We had vaccines inside because when it comes to polio, you just have to drop. It looks like an eye drop. So since I have eye drops here, yeah, here. So you just have to drop it in the kid's mouth. So like imagine there's a kid here and you just drop 2 drops of that polio vaccine and they're
And
gonna
that's it.
be, yes, they're gonna be immune. That's how
Oh,
simple it is. Yet imagine that problem. If a child catches polio, it's gonna it's gonna stop them for the rest of their lives. And yet it's just 2 drops of that vaccine and they're good. So we had to go, as in we really had to first they're gonna give us a chart where you have to write the name, the age, and what else? Yeah, the name and the age of the child plus their parents' name. So
mhm.
that was my job. I was just writing names while my dad, he actually came with me because he was like, okay, you're going to Tondo. It's not so safe. So I'll go with you. So my dad was volunteering with me. He was in charge of carrying the vaccines. And
Okay.
every time you give a vaccine, so for example, Tano, I'll drop it already. I have to color the end of your pinky with like indelible ink, just like when you vote,
Yeah. Yeah.
just so that you know that, okay, Tristan Tano has been given
Vaccinated.
vaccination. Yes, okay. So after that, we just go around. And I expected it to just be like, okay, neighborhood, let's just start dropping in kids' mouths and we're good. No, it wasn't like that at all. We started crossing a road, like the main road there. Not sure if you know Baseco, like in Tondo,
I
like where
know. I
all
know
the
Baseco.
trash is, right? Right.
Yeah.
So I thought that area was like bad because, the trash. But it's all
Mhm.
one stretch of like dump site there. So you see people living inside with the trash.
Yeah.
So you know how on the street you see a pile of trash like
Mhm.
that, like there's no trash can. All of that, but you're living with it inside your house. So first we can't react. We can't act like, oh, this is fine. Like started smelling bad, so you can't show it in your face that like,
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
That's
You have to
disrespectful to them.
smile. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to smile while breathing all that like, trash smelling air and the pollution when you cross the street, all the trucks are passing there, just act normal. And I was just like, okay, this isn't gonna be a normal volunteer day for me. I know I'm
Mhm.
gonna learn a lot. So we started going house to house. You have to yell. You have to yell at them and ask them, hello, meron po bang bata dito na 5 and below? And as in, you have to have that confidence to just go to a stranger's house, knock, and
And then
ask,
shout.
and then shout. And then
Oh, okay.
you get reactions like the people were so excited, like, nandito na sila. We're gonna get vaccines. And you have people who are like, wala. As in, I don't care. I really don't care. And like, they even lie. I mean, not saying that they do all lie, but then some even say that, oh, wala namang bata. And then suddenly you see a little kid running behind them. And you're just like, okay, I'm so sorry, my dog. Huh. And you see the kid there. So you know that there are children in that house. But then not everyone accepts like having volunteers, like help them. They don't know what the vaccine is for. So you really have to find a way to be creative enough to say, this will help you. This is why you need it.
Mhm.
And and that's how I met the kid, the little girl without a name, because I was trying to ask the adult. I thought it was her mom. So I was like, hi po, what's your name? Like that's the basic question. I just had to ask her
Uh-huh.
name first.
Yeah.
And she couldn't answer me. I was like, this is my only job. All I have to do is get the names. And she couldn't give me a name. So I was like, okay, gotta do this right. What's your name? And she said she doesn't know. And I was like, what do you mean po? Hindi ko kasi anak yan. And I was like, huh? So you allowed us to give her the vaccine, but she's not your kid. And she said, oh, it's
Yeah.
because your parents left her with me. I was like, oh, when are they coming back? And she's like, I don't know. And it's just an open-ended thing for the child that she's living with someone she doesn't even know, or her parents' friend maybe, but she doesn't know when her parents are coming back. And that was just heartbreaking, seeing the kid just smiling and laughing. And then inside, you're just like, imagine that.
So what did
Imagine
you
that.
write down? What did you write?
Nothing. I had to leave it blank. I had to leave it blank. And we had to explain it. When we went back to the city hall, when they asked for the records, we just said she had no name. It's just crazy. It's just like, how can you how can you not even give her a name, a nickname?
Yeah.
Or how could it be like, imagine one day of me not having a name? Like, no one knows what to call me. Just halika dito or like whatever. Like, I don't know. There's nothing to call me. And I guess some of the things that hit me more, I think pagpag, like when they recook leftover food
Mm.
from restaurants. So for example, fast food
Kala ko
restaurant.
when you from like awake or something.
No, not that.
Okay, food.
Not
We're talking about food.
superstitious. Nothing
Okay.
superstitious, like food. So what you do, like what the story of Pagpag, one time there's a documentary kasi that got really famous about it, right? People started getting surprised how especially those living near dump sites start recooking food.
Mhm.
But then this was different because not only were they eating pagpag, they were eating it and cooking it over plastic. So imagine plastic, fire and plastic and food on top inside the house. So I was just walking, then I look inside the house and then I see them cooking like that. And I was speechless again. First, they don't have food to eat. Second, they're cooking on plastic. Third, inside their house. Like it's for us, it's common sense. Like, oh, that's you shouldn't do that. But do they have a choice? Like, do they even have a choice of doing that or not? So I realized again that while we eat this food every day, and especially now that we're in a pandemic, it's just crazy that we don't even acknowledge that this is happening elsewhere and that we take everything for granted. So
Yeah.
it hit really hard seeing our plastic, all our trash inside houses, and all our leftover food being eaten again. Just felt it didn't feel fair, I guess.
Mhm. Mhm. What do you feel about anti-vaxxers or people who really don't like to be vaccinated? And all those theories about, or less than theories, all those claims that like vaccine. I mean now more than ever in the Philippines because of the past scandals, right, regarding vaccines. What do you think, as a person who has distributed vaccines literally to people, like literally pouring, dropping them on their mouths? What do you think about anti-vaxxers or
I
the
guess
whole?
anti-vaxxers are just like lack education, and also probably they have us like it stems from somewhere, like that fear or that hesitation. Because we one time we had this orientation about it before we actually went on the field, and they were telling us that usually the reason that people are hesitant is because they don't understand how it works. So that
Mm.
was the first step for us. Like honestly, me, I didn't even know I had the vaccine for polio because we were kids and we probably had it because our parents went to the hospital and just had it done and we're good forever. Because for polio, you just take it once and you're safe, so you don't have to take it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really difficult to explain it. Like it's not really dumbing it down, but really just making it digestible. Because even for us, I'm pretty sure we don't exactly understand how the vaccines work on our bodies because different people have different ways of like accepting it. But then it really takes patience and the education to be able to communicate it well. So I think as people who aren't anti-vaxxers, that's what we have to do. That we have to make sure that we can explain it well so people know that this is why we do it. And this is technology. Like I guess biotechnology is something that's it has it needs moral standards, like it needs ethics, because you
Yeah.
can use it for so many different things, cloning and all that. But the positive side that it gave us is really vaccines and understanding how to use them. So right now, while everyone's looking for a vaccine, like it's a magic word that when you hear progress in the vaccine, everyone's happy. Because imagine anti-vaxxers, like how do they feel right now that we need the vaccine to go back to normal? It's like, as much as I hate this, I need to trust that it will work. I
Yeah.
guess that's how they're feeling right now because of the situation. So I guess
Speaking
it's
of the vaccine, actually, right now, I guess the most important or most publicly needed vaccine is the COVID-19 vaccine. When I heard first that the vaccine was like there was a vaccine made already in, pero nung nakita ko where it came from, like vaccine made in Russia. Wait,
okay.
it- wolf in sheep's clothing, maybe, I don't know. But even if we did have a vaccine, like projections now say early or mid 2021, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like that's the most optimistic. We still need a lot of things to go right. Like for example, on your end, like distribution, like what you did before. We still have, even if we did have the vaccine, we have to mass produce it, and then we need to have people like do what you did and like go house to house and shout that a vaccine is here, and we'll still have people. I feel like we'll still have people saying na walang bata dito kahit na may tumatakbo naman sa likod.
Yes, exactly.
But like, isn't it tiring? Were you did you not feel exhausted after that day or?
Okay, that's a good question because I was gonna get to that like right after that whole volunteer experience.
Mm,
I I kind of like got lost. I got overwhelmed because for me those little things are what we do to help, right?
yeah.
But then after that experience, I felt helpless. That what I did didn't make much of a difference. Looking at the larger scale of things. But then that's when I realized it's such a wrong way to think. Because I think I was talking to my dad and he just told me that you can't save the world in a day. Like you're gonna die trying to do that. Because you really can't. Like even right now, how many months has it been? Our frontliners are like grinding every day. And yet if you look at the larger scale of things, there's still so many people to help. But then whenever I get tired or whenever I have that mindset again, I just take a step back. Then look at what I have done already. Because, for example, even telling the story, imagine that. Imagine just knowing that these people exist, that those who don't have anything to eat, it gives you perspective. Like, okay, so I know this. What do I do with it? And that's really what drives me now. Although I do get tired, and that's normal. I think even those serving on like the higher level, our politicians, our leaders, um, even even our teachers, let's just say like our teachers, I'm so sure they're so exhausted. But then when you think of how much it's multiplied, although like personally, maybe I can just count the number of people who I've helped. Maybe that kid who got that vaccine because we went there. That's one. That's already one.
Yeah.
But then if I do stop, then that's gonna go to like from one, maybe it could have been zero if I didn't even try. If I didn't even try. Okay. So I guess whenever yes, he said he agrees. He agrees. Right.
Yeah,
So
super.
whenever I do get tired, then it's just take a break. Just take a break. Like my best friend Aja, that's her favorite line. When you're stuck, just stay stuck. Because that's the only time where you get to acknowledge everything. Like, okay, embrace it. Maybe I haven't helped as many people as I wanted to. But now what? Like moving forward, now what? Okay, so I haven't helped. So I'll help. Because it helps you. It's like think of it as like as a race. So at least when you know where the starting line is, then you know you can only go forward. Unlike if you don't even get up for the run, then you're never gonna know like how far you could have gone, right? So as cheesy and cliche as that sounded, yes, that's exactly how it should go. Just take a break and pick yourself up again and do what you can.
Yeah. And saving the world. Oh. And saving the world. Saving the world is one long
Whoa! I'm
one.
so sorry. Put it there. Put it there.
Did he spill the coffee also?
No way.
Oh, the coffee is there. Is that coffee?
This is crazy.
Is that
Okay, so context. Yes, my coffee spilled earlier, and now magic. But okay, continuing
magic?
this magic.
It was delivered by a dog. It was
Yes,
delivered by a dog. I
right?
can assure you.
Yes. Hunter's a good boy.
Hunter's a what breed?
He's a Jack Russell. Look, he's here with me right now.
Oh, hi, Hunter.
Hunter, come here. Okay, no. He said no.
Okay. He agreed with you a while ago, though.
Yes.
He did.
He said the coffee was enough. No, lutang. Okay, okay. I can't. I can't. Go.
And saving the world is one very, very long marathon. It's impossible for one person to do. Although great people, really great people, there's a perspective that history is the stories of great people. That's why only great people are there. But even those people, even the most influential, can only do so much, and those people cannot do anything without the people beside them and with them in making a difference. And what you said, yeah, like one person, even in helping one person, it's still one person, and one person is priceless. One life is priceless. So, one can mean a million in the grand scheme of things, also. So it's wonderful. But how do you, as we met first in like, you were you were late. We first met, if I remember this correctly. We first met because we were both late to a meeting. And Nike, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. We were
Hi,
both
Nike.
because you are the president of Archers for UNICEF. Quite ironically, since you've already mentioned UNICEF. You've been working with UNICEF even beforehand. Uh,
Thanks to them.
how was the journey from like as a volunteer, as a student volunteer, to now being like a student leader who still volunteers but now gives more opportunities to other volunteers who are interested and willing to follow what you've done beforehand. How was the journey? What was the journey like?
Actually, I was able to volunteer in those opportunities because of UNICEF. Oh, because of Archers for UNICEF. So, oh my gosh, my dog. Okay, I was able to volunteer because of Archers for UNICEF, and I think the story behind me joining Archers for UNICEF is really the turning point of my college life. Because during that time, I was more involved in like trying to get in the USG, right? So I've been trying to, I wanted to become an elected. I tried to run for batch president and I tried to run for LA rep. The first time I lost, the second time I got disqualified. So I was like, okay, I won't back down. I'll just try again. And then one of my friends who actually was friends with people from Archers for UNICEF, she just messaged and said, okay, this opportunity is here. They're looking for vice presidents. And I said, okay, why are they looking for vice presidents right now? Like the school year's about to start. And I said, maybe it's because they're a new org. Second year, as second year accreditation, why not? I'll just do it. So I
Uh-huh.
just did it like for fun. It wasn't even something I was like dying to get in. I wasn't trying super hard. I just went for it. So it's that mindset of just getting up and I just did it. I just walked to the CSO office, got the interview, then I got in as vice president. Then fast forward, I got in for projects. And as someone who had never handled a project in LaSalle, I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know what pre-acts were, documentations. I had no idea. We had to get paperwork to get people in school. So I just said, okay, let's do an outreach. And everyone was just like, are you sure? Are you
Yeah.
sure you want an outreach? Then I said, okay, so what's the next best thing? They said, we could bring them to school. So it was supposed to be a Christmas party. And then that's where I got crushed because I didn't know all these documents were needed, right? So we didn't make it. We didn't make it for that activity. And they said, don't worry, Gian, next term. I said, okay. And that day, I remember I stopped preparing everything when they told me the documents weren't approved. And I just cried and I just said, I'm actually trying so hard now. But then it still didn't work. So at that point, I was like, okay, next year. So January came and we just changed the name from like a Christmas party theme to like start of something new. And it's really funny because that's literally when my journey started from that very activity because we brought the kids in school. And at that time, I didn't even know like how do you invite volunteers to join? How do you get people to stay? So I just asked some friends, hey guys, why don't you join me? So it was literally just my friends and I made them post and I made them carry things for the kids. I made them mingle with the children. And
Yeah.
it really turned out to be the foundation of the whole volunteer concept of this organization
This
because
was
we
when?
accepted it, right? Like this was when?
Yeah.
This was just 2018, January. So
Okay.
second term of my second year. Second term? First term? Second term of my first year. Of my second year. Oh my gosh. Second.
Wait. Second term of your second year.
It's my third year now, right? So
Wait, that's. Wait a minute. 2018? I think 2018. 2018, I was second year.
huh? Are you sure?
And I'm one batch higher than you.
2019.
You're batch
It's
lower than me.
2018 to 2019. Okay, you were right.
Okay.
2019. Okay, 2019. That's where it all began. So imagine just a year ago, that's where we were. That's what
Yeah.
we were doing. Just starting. I literally can't even explain how clueless I was about everything. It's just, I really didn't even know you needed a permit to bring in things to school.
Uh-huh.
So I just showed up with bubbles from one of our friends. She just gave us bubbles. And I just showed up with boxes there. The guard was like, where's your permit? I was like, we need a permit for bubbles? And she said, yes. And then thank you, Ate, for understanding the newbie life. Because she let me in. She just said, next time, ha? Next time. Like, yes,
Yeah.
Ate, I know now. At least I know now.
Yeah.
So that's the journey. I literally learned from zero to having to learn everything. And it was only because of that that they saw that I wanted it. And that's how I ended up as president. Because despite not knowing anything and the only thing pushing me was the kids. Because imagine letting the kids down. I was like, okay, it's for them, it's for them. It's not for the volunteers, it's not for me, it's for them. And I couldn't let them down. Ever since that day, ever since we first met, it just went uphill from there and like we really built a relationship with the kids. So I guess that's how it all started. That's why I'm here.
But wow, relate, super relate though. Um, in
You were a
the
VP.
newbie life.
You were a VP.
No,
Back.
I was an AVP. I was an AVP. For my organization, but I didn't know anything. I was like a super jolly, super bibo. Thought I could do anything. I'm an R. I can do anything. Biglang sobrang
Or
dami
is
pa
that
lang.
still you, Tano? That's still you exactly right now.
I try. But like, medyo tamed na. Kasi like, ang rami pa lang kailangan. When, di ba, for example, outreach. The first, I don't know what you mentioned, the first thing na people say, are you sure? Because like, are you really sure? You need so many things to make something that big happen, like documents and then all these processes, all these signatures, and it's crazy. It is kind of crazy. And
It's not kind of crazy. Let's admit it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
no, you need to tone it down a bit, admin. Come on,
If you're watching, maybe.
just a bit, just one less signature, maybe.
Okay, let's admit they've been a lot more. They've been a lot more proactive with us. Like it's
Yeah,
been a pretty great term for us,
they
right?
have this year. Yeah,
Right. So
Mhm.
it's such good timing as well. Like now
For
that
us,
we're here, now that we're here, now we have
uh,
more, leeway.
good timing talaga.
Yeah,
Good
it's a good
timing na.
timing.
May
Even the
pandemic,
pandemic,
good timing.
ano, I am telling you, like one of the things that I talked to my officers about was
Mhm.
that we are the leaders now, and I'm pretty sure that if we weren't as resilient as we were, then it wouldn't have been like we wouldn't have been able to adapt as well. Because I mean, look, you guys have activities happening really soon and big ones. It's not just like a single org thing. It's I know it's Paraline, right? Like you're partnered with
Yeah.
all these other organizations, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It really just shows how much we do want to do something about it. And I really like to commend you guys for that. Like making time to help others despite everything going on. It's just commendable.
Oh,
Commendable?
thank you.
Yeah, it's commendable. Yeah, what's the word? Okay.
Thank you. Your work is commendable. Too commendable. Too commendable. Commendable too.
But you know what's crazy though? Like
Sabaw na
I
ba?
know you relate. Being president is just setting the direction. But honestly, like behind the scenes, we're just watching everyone do so many things at once and working so hard to make it happen. So really credits to the team, like props to
Yeah.
our team.
Super, super.
I haven't
Um,
really, I don't know about you, but like I haven't really had to stress over anything because I mean it was stressful in general. But then
mm,
when it comes to the little things, you know you can trust them. So it's like, okay, go handle that. I'll be here watching, doing a podcast with Tano.
baka sabihin na ng officers mo, grabe to si Gian, may time pa siya mag-podcast tapos.
Honestly, I don't know. They always tell me that, like, okay, for example, I start posting about my fish, and lately I started planting because
Mhm.
I really love sinigang. I don't know about you, but
Yeah,
sinigang is great.
same. What's sinigang? What's sinigang? This is crucial. This is important.
Okay, honestly, that's the thing about me. I'm good with all kinds of sinigang. No way. Are you telling me there's
Oh,
discrimination in sinigang? So
wala
what
kang
sinigang do you
bias? You
like?
don't have bias? You don't have a
No.
bias? No
And
favorite?
no.
Really?
Wait,
That's
what's your
cool.
favorite sinigang?
My favorite sinigang. Sinigang na actually, I don't know. It's a tie between baboy and bangus. It's a
See,
tie.
okay, all that. See, that's why you don't compare them because they're good.
They are. They
Literally.
are all good. They are all good.
So I just started planting, and I call them my sinigang. I get it, my sinigang. So it's like I can hear the people laughing. My neighbors are laughing, but anyway. But then yeah, so I started planting like all the veggies in sinigang. So my eggplant, I have my sitaw, which just like it finally has sitaw now, like
Yeah.
the beets itself. And then tomatoes, that's okra, like literally everything in the sinigang.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just I don't know. My officers always ask me like, how do you have time for these things? And like, I know TikTok is a big thing. Yesterday after our thesis submission,
You made the
we were
TikTok?
just chilling. Yeah, we were learning how to do the savage TikTok with imagine my thesis mates. It's one guy, and then there's Aja. So like it's just three of us and just watching videos on YouTube and trying to learn it together and then you're just like memorizing. See? Like you
And
have to
then
make time for it, right? You feel
you'll be a TikTok star in no time.
no.
What?
No. This is
Why?
already first of all, the TikToks that trend. I start learning them like probably 3 months after or 4 months after. So I don't think anyone watches these. It's more for like for fun, you know. But
Okay, sure.
then yeah.
But if you get like 1,000 followers a month, um, don't forget me. Don't forget me. You'll be
I
the
don't
next
even
Charlie
post
D'Amelio.
them. Fun fact.
You
I
don't,
don't post them.
you don't post them.
Don't
You're
even record them.
a
It's just
great
for the sake
opportunity.
of knowing. Pretty sure.
Noted. Sure. Like you don't post them in like a burner account, like an undercover anonymous account. Sure, sure.
Nope.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you.
I'll TikTok you. No, I'm not gonna TikTok for this.
But how do you handle everything? Really? Do you have a tactic or like a strategy in like being a president it's not something everyone wants to be because it's big work. It's not like what you said. It's not really a lot of nitty gritty work, but it is a large responsibility. So how do you handle being a president? How do you do it?
So I think the nice thing about being a president is that you already have the support system. Like knowing that the people behind you are strong and like they have a good foundation. It just encourages you to continue going. But honestly, like the my leadership style is very personal. I think that's something that I've been trying to let go of, but then I really can't because yeah, I know how people are always just like, don't micromanage, don't be so, just let them do their thing. But
Mm-hmm.
then I do that, like, okay, you do your thing, but I'm gonna be there. Like I'm always watching, so they know that they're not alone. Because I think that in DLSU, one of the things that a lot of leaders just need is a push, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what you can do as a president because they all have the skill. Honestly, some of them are way better than me at certain things. So, for example, creatives, I'm not good at creatives. I'm not good at that. But then these people who are really good just need the push and like the encouragement that, oh, this is such great work. And that simple thing, it just changes the whole outlook that they have on their work, on their tasks. It's like, I don't know, it just really pushes your officers. And that's what pushes me. So seeing that they're encouraged encourages me. But to encourage them, I just have to do that. Like, okay, great job, take a break today. Or, oh, I know that this week wasn't easy on you, but it wasn't for me either. It's normal. Like acknowledging those little things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means to be a leader, I guess. It's to be with them, not just leading them, but with them. So that's my leadership style. It's
Yeah.
being really personal and just working alongside them. So there are days when, for example, I'm not able to oversee something as closely. I feel like, oh, I missed out on such a big activity or whatever. Then I try to make it up to them in different ways. So like just checking on them, messaging them. Yeah. I think that's what we need. Like we just need to keep encouraging each other. Because as you mentioned earlier, like for example, one person can't change the world, right? But then if you all move together, then everything becomes so much easier. So yeah, it's just these small things that you can do that actually get people to join you on like that journey. I'm pretty sure, like even in your organization, like
Mm-hmm.
because I actually know
Why are you
VMS as
laughing?
because you guys have scholars, right? Like you guys
Mm-hmm.
have from Jaime Hilary or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it's because your network grew. Like you have like alumni that check on you guys and stuff. And I guess in the long run, that's what I really hope we get to build for AU as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're such a young org. It's been 3 years and there's still so much that we can do. Like hopefully outreaches will be a normal thing, right? Like because of these organizations starting, maybe
Yeah.
someday in the long run we'll have scholars and like bring them to LaSalle because we even had this one kid, another story. I was bringing her to the bathroom because that's always my role for some odd reason. Whenever we have Saturday sessions
Bathroom
or
escort.
weekend, yeah, right. Like we
Yeah.
have these weekend sessions where we teach them different things. We teach them basic hygiene. We teach them how to recycle, small stuff like that. We brought them to the bathroom and then one of the kids asked me like, Ate, pwede ba ako mag-aral dito? And typical me, emotional and just like shocked. I was just like, yes, of course. Then you don't wanna like set the expectation too high that okay, maybe realistically speaking, she won't get to study here. But then the moment that that thought enters your mind, it's like you gave up on the child, right? So you
Yeah.
have to tell her that yes, you can, but what you have to do. So we really had to tell them that you have to work hard, you have to study hard. And the nice thing about LaSalle is that they have scholars and hopefully someday we can help you with that too. So that little spark of hope, that was the last time we ever saw the kids, like before the quarantine started. So that statement, like, ate, can I stay here? That one thing is the only thing I'm clinging on to. Like, why should we continue being archers for UNICEF? Like, why do we have to keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kids like that who get excited about going to school now or even reading or learning more because they have hope. And that's something we all need right now. And we get it from different things, but
Super.
for those kids, right? Like that's it. Just reaffirming that yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. Maybe they can't get it elsewhere. Maybe from their families, it's not as direct because you know how tough love, that's how it works here sometimes. But then when it comes to an ate figure or like just a friend for them, it really hits different. I don't know. Like me telling you, Tano, you can do it. You're amazing. Best president. Like that. It hits you differently coming from a peer or like, a friend. So
Yeah.
I guess, right, for your audience, like you guys should really just try to be that in people's lives. Yeah.
And I share the same sentiment. I mean, I never pass up an opportunity to commend or compliment an officer that I have. Like whenever they do something or they did an activity or a pub, that's wonderful. And that takes a lot of time, like their time, even if not a lot of people see it, like the pre-acts and the post-acts and everything. I never lose the opportunity to commend them at all talaga. Because I know commends nowadays, compliments, they're not as frequent as you would like them to be. The world is harsh enough as it is. So, and any avenue where we can spark some kindness, I think we should all do that. And when you mentioned yung we have scholars, and actually, I think, for example, if I was thinking, like, what if the organizations that can, because when I saw our BMS's organizational fund, it's not the most, but it's a lot. It's been around for 34 years. So, okay, and then I realized this money, it's just sitting here for activities in the future. And what if we use this now talaga? Like now, just to, help people now. And that's what we try to do with our scholars. Like 5 students, so five kids in grade school can live a little easier and have more opportunities in the future. And that's just what we try to do. And I think I like, even if like each organization, for example, like has one scholar, that's still 40 plus students, 40 plus kids, change makers and nation builders in the future. Like what if? That's a wonderful
That's a good thought.
thought
I mean,
experiment.
why not? Right? Like, what if that question is like the answer? Maybe we can work on it. You'll never know. And I guess that's the thing also, like that you mentioned how money's sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you can definitely like get that back, right?
Yeah.
Imagine, especially as a big organization. I think it's something that you can just, I mean, it's not easy, but then it'll come back in one way or another. But then that life that you did touch, that's like irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Imagine that going to school every day because of an org of people you don't know, but you can feel that they care for you just because of that. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Crazy, dude. You mentioned a while ago na AU is pretty young. AU is 3 years old. 3 years old, if I'm
Three.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
What does it? How is it any different from, let's say, someone from my position who's an organization who's existed older than I am, to have one of the youngest organizations in DLSU? How is it different? How does it feel? Is it more pressure? Is it less?
Okay. That's a really good question because it's really different. I feel that people who come into LaSalle don't know that. Of course, it's just us because we've seen it evolve. Like my first year was the first year. So it's like I saw it start. But then looking from a bigger picture, it's like, okay, this org exists. I'll just join it and expect it to run just like normal, like every other organization,
Yeah.
because it's just there. And that's not a bad thing because what it does is it really pushes us to do better. And for example, like as you mentioned, your organization's like 30 something years old.
Mm.
You guys set the standard for us that we have to act as if we are 35 years old, 34 years old, because we need to make sure that the members and the volunteers that we have, yeah, we actually call them volunteers. So it gives that energy like, okay, volunteers.
Yeah, you call your
But
members volunteers.
volunteers, yeah,
You have
always.
900 plus volunteers.
Yeah, we do. Um,
Whoa!
yeah,
That's wild.
same. Like that was one thing. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Like they think we're just we're like old established organization because the word UNICEF, everyone just gets drawn by that. UNICEF. I'm a Lasallian and I'm with UNICEF. That's two great things in one.
Yeah.
But then behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes, we're trying so hard to make sure to give them the best experience. And of course, like 900 something members, it's different to be able to communicate with them personally, like volunteer with them and really just talk to them. And yet, I don't think that's something we were able to achieve yet, being able to manage everyone and engage every single one of them. But then handling the org, it really had to start from being personal. So our environment is like that now that this person that I just met is someone that I can grow with, even if okay, my offices they're from different colleges. We have
Yes.
no choice. Like you're from engineering, I'm from College of Science. We have to talk. We have to be able to communicate with each other. Set aside the differences in schedule. Set aside the differences in the way we think and the way we handle things. We have to put that all aside for the organization because of what we believe in, and that's really like it's our tagline, targeting a safe haven for the children. And super, it really hits home because it's a safe space for the kids. It
Mhm.
really gets you, like it really stops you from thinking of yourself that okay, my childhood was amazing, now I need to do it for these other kids as early as now. Because um I guess at home for us when we were young, it was home. It really felt like home. I'm not sure if it's for everyone or, but
Mhm.
then generally speaking, at least we had something to come home to. But then these kids, maybe their homes aren't home
Mhm.
because right now, like online sexual abuse, that's very common and domestic violence as well. So it's this that we want to stop and we want to create a better place for them. And that's what we do as Amy. Yes. Wow. 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 That's so
Na
long.
Naano ako dun, na-move ako dun, ah. If pwede
Oh,
siyang I can just cut that out and let's make it an AU,
oh my gosh.
advertisement commercial.
I can't. I'm shy. But okay.
But wow, yeah, definitely. How many members did you have last year, if you would
Here,
know? Last
around, okay, I'm not sure if it was around 500 to 600.
and then it ballooned,
It ballooned.
to 900 plus. That's
Yeah.
amazing for a
The first
third
year was
year
a lot.
organization.
The first year was a lot because it was a new org. Everyone was like, you just, I think like
Mhm.
700 or something. Then it went down the next year to 500. Then it spiked back up. So it's like fluctuating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't know. Maybe you can tell me some tips about that because I know you guys have a lot of members also.
We're modest. We have like 100 less than you guys, I think.
See,
This year.
pretty much the same.
Pretty much.
But dream, isn't that the dream? Like imagine knowing 800 of your members.
That's crazy. I think that's physically impossible, Gian.
It's really impossible. But then even just interacting with them once, bringing them
Mhm.
together in one place, just even
Mhm.
once, every single one.
We try during general assemblies. I think the most we've ever had was like 300 plus in Henry. But that's like but GA that's GA1, that's first term. Then GA2 it went down to like 100 plus, and then well GA3 is well online, so like I don't know.
We had it fully also.
Yeah,
Similar
yeah.
though, pretty much the same. Like we just had ours in what is that?
Amphi.
Yeah, amphi. We had
Yeah.
an amphi.
I remember I think we had it the same day.
We did, and that's
Because you
very
guys
common.
helped us out, I think. I think you guys helped us
Huh?
out. I think one
Oh
of your
yeah, speakers. You mean our shared offices? It was Nina.
we have
It was Nina.
one shared
Hi Nina, if
officer.
you watch this, now you know, right?
It was a
Oh
projector, I think.
yeah,
The projector.
projector.
Yeah.
Correct.
When
You
you
were
guys
right.
are done na, like, walang projector sa head. Usually kasi there's a projector there. We've
Yes,
had GAs
automatic.
there before. Usually there's a projector. Biglang, when we went there that day, biglang, wala, it's gone. And then the text said, ha? Wala naman talagang projector dito. Tapos sabi ko, oh no! There's no projector! And we didn't reserve anything. Tapos biglang,
Then I saw Nina. She was just
Running, am I right?
walking fast, walking very fast, running. Yes, technically, essentially
Okay.
running.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos she came back. She was sweaty. She was pagod na siya. She was like
Yeah,
exhaling super fast, and she was holding a projector. Sabi niya,
projecting.
um uh like she just put it there, and then she just plugged it in. Tapos she just okay na, yan na, okay.
Yeah,
Done.
that's exactly it, right? Like it just happens. It just happens.
It just happens. So thank you for that. Thank you for the assist.
See, we'll learn from you guys also, for sure.
But being a student leader, um, how how was it? How was it? How was the experience of like translating from being initially in USG and now you're president in a CSO organization? How was the transition there? Was the culture different? Was the people were different, of course, but was the culture different? Work ethic different?
Okay. So the thing about the USG, I never really got an elected position, right? So I joined the batch government my first year, and I wasn't as active and excited about it because I lost. So as a frosh, it's like, okay, I'm gonna lay low, just chill for a while. And then the first experience with the CSO org was when I joined Model UN. So I went with Muntok. We went to New York, like our delegation, and that was the first time I got trained under like a CSO. I mean, there's CSO org, right? And they were trying to get accreditation and stuff like that. So it was so different. Like it was so different because even in terms of activities, when I was in the USG, I didn't know much, right? So I didn't even know about like gals and stuff like that being required. And
Mhm.
I knew CSO was like that other that other body,
Body.
like
Yeah.
USG, CSO. They never like connected. They never merged or anything in my mind. But now that I'm here, I realized how much structure we have. And the fact that we're led also by fellow students, like sila Nike nga, the CSO council body working with fellow presidents, it's a different environment because unlike in the USG where it's batch governments, it's usually the those above who really interact with each other. But for us, it's like on the lower level, our officers interact with each other. I can be part of two things at once,
Yeah.
learning two different things at once. So maybe I could be part of my home organization and be part of UNICEF, or I can even join BMS, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like
Yeah.
for example, in the USG, I can't be in two batches. I can't be from SOE. I can't be from CLE at once, unless you're Leocom, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the in CSO, there are no limits. Like you have no barriers for example, I like the Japanese org. I could just join that if I wanted to. Because I like anime, so I can join that. If I want
Mm-hmm.
CCS, I can learn coding with LSCS. It gives you a wider array of options. And that's what people need. They need choices, right? So it's really nice to learn from different leaders and learn different things also. You're not limited or boxed into one specific group.
Mm-hmm.
So even with us in meetings, you hear ideas from everyone, from every single organization. It's like, oh, this person's experiencing this problem that we would never experience. Because I'm not an academic org, right? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't relate. Like I don't have to make tutoring announcements
Yeah.
or class announcements.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to hear, like, oh, okay, this is such a nice initiative for students, like mentoring programs. Even I know you guys do this thing where you give practice tests or like notes
Yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like we don't need to do that as AU. But then it would be nice, like maybe we could have this tutoring thing for the kids, something like that.
For the
It's good
kids,
to
yeah.
learn, right? It's
Not for
good
the
to learn.
volunteers.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Right? But siguro that's a main difference. Like
Yeah.
it's the diversity that we have. I mean, it's pretty diverse there also, but their focus is student services. But for us, it's more of like we have our own thing going on and we want to share it with everybody. So yeah, it's really nice to be part of this community, yes.
Yeah, what you said, yeah, everyone can go anywhere. Like you can be a member of different organizations. A CLA student, me becoming president of a business. organization. It was, I think it's, I don't know if uh I am an MGT student. I'm psych and MGT, but whenever people ask me about MGT stuff or thesis MGT or OJT for MGT, I just go like, "Hey, I know as much as you do. I I'm just starting. I'm like technically a fresh. I'm just taking my first law subject this term. I
Gosh, I
haven't
didn't know that, ha. I didn't know you were
really.
Leopold.
I was the Ecom. I am the Ecom. I'm psych business management.
So
Oh my gosh, I never knew.
that's why I had so many years. Why you just think I repeat the years?
Crazy.
You
Eh,
think I'm a
not
repeater?
even. Not
That's here.
even. But you could extend for your org. You know how that's a common thing. Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm not.
You're
I'm
Leopold.
finished
I'm
now.
so sure. Huh? Huh? Okay, okay. I learned something new also.
Oh wow. So you gave me fish information. I gave you that information.
Personal information. Okay, I know more. I know more about you now. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, how was the experience being in like you were running, you ran twice for a position. How was first, like how was the experience of like um running in the first place, running for an elected position? How was running around in different classrooms saying those different things a lot of the time, multiple times in the day with classes? How are you going to, how, what was your tactic or your strategy in like getting people to believe in you, people to vote for you, or yeah, how was that?
Okay. So for our party, we really believe in it's our platform, like what we're offering to the students. Because I guess in the back of your head, why would you let anyone who's not credible run, right? So it's given like that you'll run, but then it's what you're trying to offer the students that really gets them to vote for you. I think the challenge there is being a frosh. Because
Mhm.
right now, like I feel like if you do offer a specific platform to students, they'll listen to you because they know you now. But as a crush where nobody knows you and you have to make yourself known, that's where all this wearing this branding has to come in. Letting people know who you are, being open to people about like, oh, this is my high school, even if they don't know my high school, because I came from a Chinese school, right?
What's your
So
next
whenever
one?
I see it, like, oh, I'm from MGC New Life Christian Academy, everyone's like, where's that? See, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's like having to do that and tell people who you are, it's difficult. Because, for example, you're someone who really lives it out more. Like, okay, I'm the one who answers in class a lot. Like, people will remember you for these things, right? And eventually, when you're with your batchmates, they understand, oh, this is her as a person. Oh, I can trust her because she's responsible with this and that. But if it comes from that, like your fresh year where nobody knows you, nobody really cares, nobody cares. You really have to put yourself out there. And that's something that I didn't do. So I'm talking on behalf like of the party. Like that's the strategy. Like you really have to let people know who you are. Because that's the only way that they'll actually trust you, right? But I didn't follow them. I did not follow having to wear this specific branding. I didn't do that. I was the hardest to handle candidate. We had trainings. Then I went to green belt because I needed a break from doing the rehearsals and stuff. And then,
I
okay, if
love her
Pao
already.
watches this, yeah, I'm giving him a shout out. We call him Papa P. But I'm not sure if you know him, Paolo Valmonte. He was my
No,
gov.
I'm so sorry.
He's 115. Yeah, he's my gov. And he was so patient with me because everything that they told me not to do, I did it. Don't eat chocolate because you're going to get sore throat when you're speaking. Eats chocolate. Don't eat rice because you're going to get sleepy. Eats a whole meal. Literally everything they say don't do. Don't wear blue because it's not your branding. That's the other party's color. I wear blue. Like, oh my gosh. Every single thing they said not to do, I did it. And then when I lost, I got surprised by that I lost. Like, Gian, Gian, you didn't listen. It's your fault. But
You
then,
didn't do all these things, dude.
right? So I was like,
You ate
okay, like when I
chocolate.
was,
That
right?
was the difference.
Because who doesn't? But then that was my evaluation. Like the post eval in my head was like, okay, I got really sad. I lost. I worked too hard. I did this and that. Then when you actually acknowledge it and like accept it, digest what happened, girl, you did not follow what they said to do. So why are you expecting to win, right? Even the platform, like our platform was good, but did you make an effort to like make people know it? Kinda, but not my best. Like I knew in my heart that it wasn't the best, which is
Mhm.
why I ran again. Which is why I ran again. And this time,
This is your
it was
second
more
year.
of second
Mm.
year. So actually, it's frosh year last term because you know how elections
Yeah.
are like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of messed. Oh wait, I kind of made like the extra effort this time. I tried more. I was more present. I really thought everything through, like your actions, the people you spend your time with. It matters. But then, it was more of an operational problem, which is why we got disqualified. And to be honest, I don't think disqualification is like the right term because we never even got to pass the documents. So technically, we just never filed.
Yeah.
Like we were never candidates to begin with. So we had our pictures ready, we had our clothes for the week ready, our speeches ready, but we didn't run because it never got filed. We were missing something was missing, like our party document. Like it's supposed to be a consolidated USB, a flash drive with everything in it. But then
Mhm.
we didn't finish that on time. So
He
don't
was a party.
cram. Don't cram. That's really it's really the most important lesson we learned.
But that was you guys as a party, because everyone didn't.
Yeah.
Understand that. Oh yeah, like nobody got the run because of that flash drive.
Flash
That
drive.
was yeah. I'm not so sure. Okay, like for those watching, I'm not sure if it was a flash drive or a file, but then I know it was a party document that messed up. And funny story though, because if Lance de la Cruz watches this for some reason, our USG president, like I literally was in the elevator with him moments before we found out we were about to get disqualified, and we were going up. Then I was calm. I was like, okay, something bad is happening, and I know it's happening. So we are in Velasco going up,
Mhm.
and he tells me, Gian, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? You need to keep everyone calm. I said, yes. Di tayo nakapag-file. And I was like, calm? You're telling me to keep calm? So I went in the room. Everyone was panicking already. Like, finish the documents, do this, do that. And then, and in my heart, I already knew, like, we're not gonna get the run. Because if it were the other way around, like if it was the other party who didn't get to pass their documents, I wouldn't allow them to run either. Like, it's fair. It's
Yeah.
really that. Like, how can you serve if you can't meet that small, demand from you? Like, just submit this. You couldn't do it. But I guess it really depended on not blaming the leadership. It was really like a collective thing. But then we should have coordinated better as a team because I knew at some point they were asked if they wanted an extension, and we said no because we could handle it. Yeah. So that's how it ended. We didn't run. So two missed elections, I guess.
Why didn't you choose to run again
Okay.
the next term?
It
That's a
was the next
fun
term, right?
story. It was the next term. Like the
Yeah.
next third term. Something. Oh yeah, it was the next term.
Yeah, it was the
Someone
first
won
term.
kasi for us.
No.
So once the slots are filled, like you can't run again. But then fun fact, I actually counted the votes of that elections, the one where there was no kalaban. So I
Mhm.
counted my batch. And that time it was still Ronin. Like he was still running for batch president. And now he's our OVP. Like I was counting his ballots and stuff. Wala lang, share lang. But I didn't
Yeah.
run again because I found Unicef. Funny story. I said yes, actually. Like, fun fact, I said yes to running for the third time around for college president.
Mhm.
And now it's Pepeton, Felipe. I'm pretty sure you know him now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's Pepeton. Like, that was what I was supposed to run for. And then that same time, when I opened up the Unicef, that, okay, I was asked to run. I'm just letting you know. And they tell me, Gian, we need to talk. It's like, oh, I got so scared. It's like, oh, we have to talk now. They're like, okay, after the event, we're gonna talk. I was like, okay. I'm not sure if you know our former president, Mark. Like
Yeah.
Mark Uri.
He used
Yeah,
to be
Mark.
in BMS.
Yeah, he used to be
Yeah.
BS, exactly. He talked to me and I was with the other EB, Carms, Aquino, sila Gia, and we were all downstairs. Not sure if Cheska was there, I forgot, or IMC. And then they just told me that, we know how much you love AU already. Like, just don't deny it. Like, okay, yes, that's true. That's true. That's a fact. Then they said, then why are you running? Are you not planning to stay? Then I just started crying. I was like, oh, I love AU, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, we want you to be president. We're telling you as early as now because you brought up that you're planning to run. So we want you to decide. And then I was just there, like the lobby of Andrew, crying. And then they were just like, okay, we know how you feel about it. So you can decide. Just let us know what you think. And then after that, I didn't turn back. I just apologized and said I won't run for the college president because my heart was really in AU.
Mhm.
And I think at that time, it was just, I never thought about it because honestly, another thing, I didn't think about the succession of CSO orgs. Like, I didn't realize that after your term as like a vice president, yeah, there's still something after that. So it wasn't something that I thought about at that time.
Mhm.
And here we are
Wow.
now, right? Like,
You could have been my college president.
As part of
hey,
CLA.
Apeton's doing great though. So hands down, I wouldn't have been able to like lead as passionately, I guess, as he is right now.
Love Pepeton. My fondest memory of Pepeton was me filming a comedy skit in his condo. But he wasn't there. I was just I thrashed his bathroom.
So sorry, Pepeton. I
Are you
spilled your
friends? Huh? Like you're friends with his roommate. How are you in his condo without him?
I don't know. His friend is my friend. We're like we know each other. So he let us film and I trashed his bathroom. I spilled his toothpaste. I spilled his um s- stuff there. I'm so sorry, but it was needed for the for the skit. I was commanded by the director.
anyhow.
Okay. I'm
Any-
surprised you're not in com arts, huh? You seem more like a com arts kind of guy.
I didn't know about comarts actually when I coming into DLSU. I didn't know about comarts. Maybe I would have been there, but psych and business management. It's 2 degrees, man.
like,
True.
fun.
And you're doing great. I mean, com arts right now, like podcast, editing. Very com arts.
Oh, try.
Very comarts. Even if I don't know necessarily like what comarts. I don't know. No, I know a bit. I have some friends, but like I don't know what they go through. I just know they handle a lot of like communication, like camera stuff, like directing. And I know that's me oversimplifying it. So I'm sorry.
It's okay. They can comment. Like, tell us, what is com arts, right?
Oh,
I know
tell
you're friends with
them.
Nala. Am I right?
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
class.
yeah.
Nala,
Yeah.
explain please. Because
And
I don't
those
think
and her friends. You were all
Mhm.
classmates in a
Pottery.
Harry Potter class. Yeah,
I should
I
have taken
was.
that you guys.
You should have.
I
You
should
should
have.
have.
That's my
We would
last class left. Eleclit. Eleclit, right? Am I
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
You still have classes next term, ba?
Yeah, I do.
Wanna be classmates? G.
But I'm Eleclit na lang.
Yun na lang yung CLA, floating
Yeah.
mo?
Okay, because I'm supposed to finish this term.
Yeah.
As in, I was 21 units.
Mm.
Then I dropped it because I thought it was too much already. Like, I really just took it back. I was like, nope, I can't force this 21 units. Then I dropped Eleclit. So I have one class left. As
You have
in,
one class for next
class
term.
left. Yeah,
You're extending a term for a class.
for one class. Well, hey, not like we're gonna go anywhere. It's just online.
That's true. That's very true.
Magastos lang. But
So actually, you brought it up. Like, what are your plans after? You're going to be leaving DLSU soon. What are your plans after DLSU?
okay, long-term plans, short-term plans. No, I'm kidding. But then
Both term
I
plans.
guess, okay. I guess initially I would have wanted to work in like a companies and like multinationals and all. Like that's what I thought of before because I shifted into DevStud. I was actually redirected in LaSalle. Like I applied for all business courses, applied corporate management. That was my first choice. And I got redirected to literature, which is how I met my blockmates and everything, which is how I ended up running for CLE, right? So like it's all
Mm-hmm.
connected now. Then I shifted into DevStud because one of our not alumni, she's an alumni now, but then from Tapat actually was the one who took DevStud and she told us what it was about. And I was like, okay, this is nice. Because social enterprises are like business also. Like, okay, I'll just say that. I'll just say that. I'll take it. Then it became so much more than just that. Like I think the future has to involve development work, and it's all about humanity again. Like the importance of CLA. Like you're in a good position, Tano. Like Liacom, such a good position to be in right now. And in the long run, I want to do something in relation to development work because our professors always tell us that people are afraid because they think there's no money in being CLA and being dev stud because all you're doing is like giving and giving and giving, like outreaches, give things away, but they don't see the structure behind it. Like there are a lot of startups right now. One that I'm looking at actually, I wanted to intern there for OJT for fun. Uh, Humble sustainability. What they do is try to create a circular economy. So they're a startup that really collects like people's old like for example computers, TVs and stuff, and they bring it to places that need it, or they upcycle it then sell it. So it's really this whole, like it's sustainable because when will people run out of trash? Never. Like there will always be waste until
Yeah.
eventually we figure things out with technology. But in the near future it's so important, and you only have this mindset when you look at things from that perspective. Maybe I don't know much math, but I am able to see like the real problems. Like, okay, how can you solve? I mean, okay, I can't solve a war. Like, I can't, I can't just turn a desert into a forest, right? But then people are
Yeah.
doing that now because they understand sustainability and like where to start and all that. So yeah, answering the question, something along those lines. Probably want to start my own thing, but of course, I'd probably try to work in a company like Humble. I hope I get it.
Mhm.
But if
And
not,
turning
then
deserts into
yeah,
forests.
right. Okay, that's a thing they're doing in China now. Like, because there's
Oh,
no food in the desert, they're starting that. Yeah,
China has a lot of land.
exactly. And that desert land, they're turning it into not a forest, more like they're planting food like, for the
Mhm.
people who live around it.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of potential for everything in relation to development work. That understanding people, I know you relate to this because psych, understanding people is one of the first steps in really solving problems.
Mhm.
Because we have so much control over things, yet everything is so out of control. Like what's happening here?
Yeah.
So I guess that. And if not, then I'm actually willing to like delve deeper into CSR because I don't know, they have a lot of control, right, with how consumers consume products. Because they
Mhm.
give they open up options for people. And to be able to really force that mindset that go back to the people and the environment in big companies, then you're really gonna turn things around, you know,
Yeah. Definitely.
long term. Long term. No, okay. But that's the short term. That's like the immediate thing. The
That's
long term,
short term.
that's short term. That's like
Okay.
the first thing I do because I have to learn pa, eh, 'di ba? You
Yeah.
feel. But
So
then
short
when
term,
it
Gian is to make deserts into forests.
no,
Gotcha.
fine, whatever. Then the long term is like, okay, I really like coffee. That's not even long term. That's like a sideline long term thing. I want to make a coffee shop. Like I really do. Because
Yeah.
I'm always in coffee shops. And I know that there are a lot popping up right now. But then the concept is really connecting connecting people to farmers, not just on the level where you know them,
Mhm.
but you actually know, for example, because my best friend and I, again, Aja, she's like my um conscience. Like we always work on things together. And we wanted to start this coffee business right now, like during the whoa,
Hunter loves to have that coffee business right now.
he is excited
Love to
because
have
he
it.
knows the story behind it. But yeah, we wanted to start because I said, you know what, if we never start, we'll never do it. But then everyone started doing it also. So we said, okay, maybe we should just plan. Let's just plan first. And we wanted it to be literally no waste in our packaging. And we wanted the farmers to really get something out of it. So
Yeah.
we couldn't start because we couldn't go to the farms.
Mhm.
Yeah? Yeah. We couldn't go to the farms. Like we wanted to be there, ask what they need, how like the process, understanding the process, not just from YouTube or stalking other businesses, but going there, talking to them, and making them part of the whole setup, the story. So that coffee shop kasi, like I realized how many good ideas start because of people talking, right? Talking. Like your ideas
Of
of the
course.
scholars, right?
Of
So
course.
yeah, that like the coffee shops is really I really wanted to divide it into areas where it's like focus zone. Then the other areas are like brainstorm. And then the others are kind of like shared spaces where you can talk to people just so you're not alone. I know it's kind of, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, like safety and all. But it's just the long, like the moonshot goal far, far away there.
Yes.
What's the name? You have a name?
Not yet. That's the hardest part because I don't know. It has to encapsulate a lot of things. So not yet, not yet.
Looking forward to dining in one of those coffee
And
shops,
sitting
Gian,
there,
and sitting
shared
there.
space. In the
Yeah.
future, you can do your podcast there for free. Free coffee.
Free coffee.
Sponsored.
Oh, you say that.
Sponsored. You're gonna be there and then
You're
sitting
now
with your
contractually obliged to follow through on that promise, Gian.
promise. Of course. Oh my gosh, Hunter is fighting.
Hunter's warning you of that bad deal you just signed.
And I can't kick him out because there's thunder. So
Oh, it's raining there.
it's raining. It's about to. I'm pretty sure there also.
Not sure. The
I'm pretty sure
sun's
there
still
also.
up though. The,
Where
the sun's still up though here.
it can rain when there's sun, you know.
It
Just
can. It can.
it can.
Yeah.
Oh. Proving the point. Why am I really proving the
I don't
point?
know.
So in doing all these things, in being attacked by Hunter continuously, the question to you, I guess, moving to the crux of the podcast, is, and Hunter also agrees.
Yes. He wants to answer
What's
the question.
What's the meaning of life for you?
Okay. This is the question I was waiting for because it's the title of your podcast. The meaning of life. Okay. Cliche. I'm actually Christian. I really believe that Jesus is the meaning of life. But more than him being the center of life, it's really being like him. Okay. So I told my dad this. I said, Dad, the meaning of life is to be like Jesus. And he said, no one will relate because it's unattainable. And I said, that's the point. That's exactly the point. He came, he was human. He was born in a manger, right? So around animals and all that. Like that's the most humble entrance to the world for God, like for God, right? And I know that a lot of people who aren't religious are like, no, how could that be the meaning of life? There's so much more to life than just being like him. But it's just like looking up to someone the same way that we look up to like Bill Gates and all that, right? Yes. Okay. I'm so sorry, my dog. But there, like, it's like looking up to someone. That's why he became man, so that we could relate to him. And I guess being more like him means really helping others because in his lifetime, that's all he did. And yet, people still bashed him. It was in the Bible, okay, right? Like they really bashed him.
Yeah,
They
they
had him
literally bashed
killed.
him.
Yeah, right. They had him crucified. Like imagine that. But then at the end of the day, he just kept doing the good, right? He helped those that were considered untouchable, unclean for his religion. And that's what we need to be. Like, if not be more like Jesus, then be more human. Like, what, because he was human, and that's exactly what we are also. Yet, he got to do a lot because he acknowledged it, embraced it, that that's what we are. Like we're all the same. We're all human. And yet we have all these social constructs, all these expectations, and it stops us from being more human. Right. And
Yeah.
that's what we need. We need to be more like Jesus. We need to be more human. And the meaning of life is slowly achieving that, that we get closer to being human again, that we take care of each other again, just like Jesus did for the people around him. Yeah.
Yeah, being more human. Do you think humans are naturally good or are naturally evil or not or none?
I guess the tendency for human nature is like to do wrong because survival of the fittest, right? Like they really just want to survive and just get through and live their best lives and stuff. But I think it's what happens after. It's like that capacity to change given what you have. Like everyone will always have their own selfish intentions. But then the more that you educate yourself and immerse yourself in good things and in helping others, like you'll really feel fulfillment that you can't get from just helping yourself. And I think that's exactly what we need to do, right? But I don't know. Maybe um I guess for us, we just need to do it with more confidence. That helping people isn't like something that you should hold back from. It's like when you help all out na,
Mm.
because it's not for you, it's for them also. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like helping people should be one of those things. Now we shouldn't have any reservations for, like all out talaga. And imagine lang yun, 'di ba? Even going out one day and just deciding na okay, sige, I'll volunteer. That's and even if you just let's say what you did, like vaccinated just one person, that's still one person. And one person is infinitely priceless.
So ganun. Yun lang.
yeah.
But then,
Like people forget that, no? Like
yeah.
people really forget that you don't have to be so big to do something. Because I think the tendency is that wag mo na gawin. Kasi yan lang. Like we always have that mindset that that's it. That's all. That's all you did. Like even in like when you write your resume, you know how a lot of people get so pressured that it has to be full. It has to have this company, this experience, and that exactly. And that's what will get you, that will push you forward in the future. But it's really not. It's adding up those small things that you've done that actually make everything bigger in the grander scheme of things, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have no problem with your resume, Gian.
Being humble.
Um, yeah, no
Oh,
problem. And
Hunter.
no, honestly, all these opportunities, like they just popped up, and it's just saying yes. It's a matter of just saying yes, knowing when to say no, but it's a matter of saying yes that I ended up here,
Yeah.
not holding back. Just say yes sometimes.
Of course, of course. Um, in ending the podcast or like our conversation here, I want to ask you like, one last thing, of course. What's the most important lesson or one most important thing that you've learned so far in your life? In your, how old are you, Gian?
I'm 21.
One. You're
21.
21.
In your 21 years in this world we are in, what's the most important thing you know or you've learned?
Most important thing I've learned. Hmm. I guess okay. I am sure this time. I'm sure. I think life is good. That's the most important thing I've learned. Like good is subjective to so many people. That for me, life is good because I have my fishes and I go to a good school. I love my organization. That's why life is good for me. But for the kid, for example, that was in Tondo, that didn't have a name. Life is good to her because she's still alive. Like she's able to play with her fellow friends there. Life is still good. And maybe for you, life is good because I'm done with one of my degrees and I'm moving forward to the next thing. And even for people, for example, in war, I know that it's something that's happening. It's real. But life is still good because they're still able to make it the next day. it's different for everyone, but it's just the perspective that we have that dictates why life is good. And the end goal, right, is to make life better for others. And I think it's important to acknowledge that life is good talaga. No matter what happens, no matter the pandemic going on right now, we have to be able to find that hope. Because if not, then what's the point, right? Like, what is the meaning of life? So that's a good lesson to share, again, from my
Wow.
side of the fence.
Life is good.
Life is good and always have hope.
Wow. Thank you, Jian, for that
Sure.
insightful lesson.
Life is good. Life is good. It sounds entitled, no? Like it sounds entitled when you say it. That life is good. Yeah, life is good because you have a lot, right? Because you always compare with other people. But if you talk to yourself and tell yourself that life is good, then it makes more sense than me
Mhm.
telling you that life is good.
And I feel like life is good because life is, in and of itself, a gift. And life is life. It's priceless. And everything that comes in between. It's something we don't ask for. We don't ask for life, right? We just get born. But it's on us. It's us. Our lives are on our hands, and what we do with it is what defines it. And whether we do what we love to do, or what we even if we hate what we do, or whatever, it's all that we have in the end. And we should always appreciate it. Life is good.
Life is good. The more that you tell yourself, the more it comes true, right? You
Yeah.
start thinking of things. Like the moment I said that to you, life is good. Then you start thinking of like, oh, why is life good?
You count all your blessings.
You count everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the goal.
That's the meaning of life.
That's the meaning of life. That life is good. And you have to have that perspective, you know?
Mm.
Well, in the ending, thank you, Gian. Thank you for taking the time. And thank you, Hunter, for your comments, for your side comments, and very insightful indeed. Thanks, Gian, for taking the time, and hope to see you soon and wish you well.
Thank you,
Or see
Jian.
you in our next meeting.
See,
Thanks, Stan.
and don't be late.
I'm not late. We weren't late, okay. I'm just putting that out there. We weren't late. Everyone was just so early.
Okay,
It's
sure.
true. Okay. Nike will be our